In this video, we're going to talk about vertex form of a parabola. So vertex form looks like y equals a quantity of x minus h squared plus k, where h comma k is a vertex of the parabola. So h represents x value, k represents the y value of the vertex. And we have axis of symmetry, which is x equals h. H comes from the vertex, x value of the vertex. And x equals h is a vertical line that divides the parabola into two equal parts. So let's say you have a parabola over here going upward, which means that a is positive. If a is positive, then the parabola opens upward. If a is negative, parabola goes down. So up and down. Now, axis of symmetry is a vertical line that goes through the vertex, and it divides the parabola into two equal parts. X equals h. Nice thing about axis of symmetry is if you know that there's a point over here on the parabola, then you know that exactly same distance away from the axis of symmetry, there's another point. And we'll talk more about that later. So we got y equals negative 2 quantity, x plus 3 squared plus 4. So your a is negative 2. And what is your h? H is going to be not 3, but negative 3. Because, notice, the formula says x minus h, and this is x plus 3. So h has to be negative 3. What about k? K is going to be 4. Therefore, your vertex is negative 3 comma 4. And your axis of symmetry will be x equals h, which is x equals negative 3. Now, these three information will help us to find or help us to graph the parabola. So since our vertex is negative 3, 4, it'll be around here somewhere, negative 3, 4. And the axis of symmetry is negative 3. This is our axis of symmetry. And we know that the parabola is going downward because a is negative 2. So we kind of need a few more points to kind of sketch the parabola. So let's try to find the y-intercept. How do you find the y-intercept? Y-intercept is when x equals 0. So let's plug in 0 here. We are going to get so it's going to be 9, negative 18 plus 4, which is negative 14. So when x equals 0, we get negative 14, which is around here. Okay? Now notice, this is negative 3, so 3 distance away. 3 distance away, which is opposite of this point, respect to the axis of symmetry, there should be another point on the parabola. So now the parabola will look something like this. Oh, that is not a pretty parabola at all, but you know, you get the idea. Okay? So that's how you sketch the parabola. Again, this is not a pretty parabola, so you get the idea. But let's try this example right here. You got f of x equals negative 3 quantity x plus 1 squared. So your a is negative 3. Again, this is in a vertex form. You get h equals negative 1. What about k? K is going to be 0. So your vertex is negative 1 comma 0. And your axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative 1. Again, the parabola will go downward because A is negative. So how can we sketch the parabola? I hope I do a better job on this time. So vertex is negative 1, 0, which is over here, about over here. And this is axis of symmetry. And it's going to go downward. Let's try to find the y-intercept. Let's plug in 0 over here, and what do you get? When you plug in 0, you get negative 3. Because 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 squared is 1, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So you get 0, negative 3, which is about over here. That means one distance away from this axis of symmetry, you're going to have negative 3. Okay? So your parabola is going to look something like this. Something like that. What about this example? This is a vertex form. So A is going to be 2. Now H is going to be 2. So you have a minus over here. What about K? K is going to be 5. So your vertex is going to be 2, 5. I'm sure you already noticed, if it's in a vertex form, vertex is very easy to find. What about axis of symmetry? X equals 2. So based on these three information, let's try to graph the parabola. So vertex is going to be 2, 5, so which is about over here, 2, 5. And here's this is negative 2, 5. So 2, 5 is going to be over here, about. This is going to be the axis of symmetry. X equals 2. Now, the parabola is going to go upward. So let's try to find the y-intercept. When x equals 0, what is the y-intercept? When x equals 0, you're going to get negative 2. Quantity negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So you get 0, 13, which is about over here. And notice the distance. That's 2 distance away from the axis of symmetry. So exactly 2 away from the axis of symmetry on the other side, you're going to have another point on the parabola. So your parabola is going to look something like this. Okay? Something like that. That's how you sketch. It's good to put a vertex on your parabola, which is 2, 5.